Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty fundamental in web development, background jobs.
Yeah, specifically, we're looking at the buzz around Rails 8 and how it handles them. There's this article from Also Help.
Right, background jobs with Rails 8 are delightful. Strong word, delightful.
It is. And, our mission here is to figure out why the author feels that way. Why so much enthusiasm for, well, cues.
Good question,
Okay.
because they are, like, almost always necessary, aren't they? The author makes that point early on.
Absolutely. Think about it sending that forgot password email or maybe processing an image after upload.
You can't make the user sit there and wait. That's terrible UX.
Exactly. So the author sees a framework shipping with this capability from day one.
Well, they see it as a sign of real maturity.
Okay, so what makes the Rails 8 way delightful then? What's the core change?
I think it really boils down to one main thing. It's included right out of the box.
Okay, so no more hunting for the right gem, adding it, configuring it. Precisely. Historically, that's been the process, right? You pick Sidekick or delayed job or something else, you integrate it, it's work before you even write your first actual job.
Right, right. So built-in is nice, but what features does it actually include? Is it basic or...
Well, the article calls out a couple of key things. First, it uses your database as the back end.
Okay, so job details are stored reliably there. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then, get this, and the author seemed genuinely surprised, they put a little live-id in the text,
Huh.
a built-in dashboard for monitoring your jobs.
Whoa. Okay, a dashboard included. That is unexpected, so you can see what's running, what failed.
Exactly. And the author said hooking their own jobs into this system was damn easy, I think was the phrase.
Okay, and they mentioned security.
Just that protecting the dashboard was simple, basically locking down that one admin route, standard stuff.
This leads to another interesting point they made about not needing to, like, dive into the nitty-gritty because it just works.
Right. And this is where it gets kind of cool, I think. They mention it obviously works fine with the default Rails asset setup, prop shaft, but they were using Vite, a totally different front-end tool.
Oh, and the background job stuff still works seamlessly.
Apparently, yes. That's what the author calls Rails deep integration. It suggests this isn't just tacked on, it's woven into the framework core.
Interesting. So it's not dependent on you using all the other Rails defaults.
Seems that way. It implies a really solid fundamental utility.
Okay, but technically, background jobs need their own process, right? You can't run them in the main web request thread.
Correct. You block everything. The author mentions this, but says setting up that separate worker process is like super minimal.
How minimal?
Literally one line of code that you can forget once it's set up for development and production.
Okay, that sounds pretty smooth.
So summing it up, the author is really positive. They say Rails 8 shines here, offering elegant, monitorable background jobs from the start. Mission control, they call the dashboard part.
And they even use the phrase, closed from silver bullet. High praise.
Very high praise.
So, bringing it back to you listening, why does this built-in approach matter?
Well, it's about speed, really, development speed,
Hmm.
and less complexity right at the start of a project.
Less cognitive load, maybe? You don't have
Yeah.
to research and decide on a queuing library right away?
Exactly. You save that time and energy. You can just start writing your features knowing this essential piece is already there, ready to go, and you can even watch it run via the dashboard.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it does leave us with a final thought, especially with that Vate example.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think about the trade-offs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A framework like Rails, including more batteries, these core things like background jobs, versus frameworks where you explicitly add everything as a separate library.
Right. Does that just works, deeply integrated approach offer more value than the sort of a la carte flexibility of picking every single component yourself?
It's a classic framework philosophy question, really. Something to chew on.